Hey everyone, Chris here from the Sonic Spectrum, and today we're checking out something that a lot of musicians have been asking about: affordable wireless in-ear monitoring system. Xvive was kind enough to send me the U45D stereo in-ear monitor system, and instead of just giving you my opinion, I invited my good friend John over to help me test it out. John is a singer-songwriter and performs with his band at local gigs and festivals, and he has spent plenty of time using live sound gear. So I'm always interested in hearing what he thinks. We're not going to waste any time talking specs first. Instead, we're jumping straight into the real world sound test John did, and then we're going to hear John's opinions and thoughts. And then after that, I'll walk you through the features that actually matter if you're thinking about making a jump into wireless in-ear monitoring. So John, now they had a chance to set it up with our Allen Heath ZI-10FX straight to your belt pack and then to your ears through these earphones. What were your first impressions with this X5 system?
I was really blown away by how clear it was. The highs were super high, had a nice range, so the acoustic guitar sounded natural. There wasn't any clipping or distortion. There wasn't any latency that I could really tell. I also took one out trying to play a little bit with it just to hear on.
And it was clear?
Stereo. Yeah, it was very clear. Yeah, it was great.
What about when we were setting up the channels? We were holding down 3 seconds.
Right.
Remember that?
Yeah. So, I mean, technical learning curve, right?
Mini learning curve, folks.
Actually, once you get onto it, it's super easy. Really, it wasn't the actual. It was just you hold it down 3 seconds. It will find the clearest channel
From 6 different colors.
6 different colors, right? And then all you do is you turn on the what is it, transmitter, and then you just match the colors. You would simple press in, and it's very easy, right? Yeah.
So the fact that it's matching the color. So ours landed on red, and then we just pressed the button on the receiver transmitter there and made red. That's it. Like they've made it pretty much easy.
They did. And then even for the mix, we just made sure it was on stereo, and then came through stereo on both sides, even though we're only taking it out mono, which is great to know, right? So even if you have mono feed, you can hear it in stereo.
So for our audience watching, because I know you do play festivals locally here, you have a band, right? You have a big band, and I've heard your music. It's amazing. So for somebody who plays festivals and local gigs like bars and stuff too, would you use this system? Do you feel confident in using this in your next folk festival that you do?
Sure. One thing I like about it, you can never rely on monitors when you're playing live sometimes, right? And if you have your own board, you get your own mix. It just makes everything super easy. The setup's easy. Lots of options. So when you're not going to have that cross clicking or whatever you're going to get if there's another frequency that's being used. So yeah, I would totally be happy using something like this.
Okay, well, thank you so much for taking your time to come out and demo the new X5 in-ear monitor system for us. I thank you so much. All right, welcome back. Huge thanks to John for coming over and giving the U45D a proper workout. I always think it's valuable to hear another musician's perspective because everyone's ears are a little different. One of the biggest things that stood out to John, like you heard, was how clean and natural everything sounded. There wasn't that compressed or artificial sound that some budget wireless systems can have. Monitoring in true stereo also makes a surprisingly big difference. Instead of everything feeling piled into the center of your head, you can actually separate instruments across the stereo field. Maybe you want a guitar slightly left, keyboards a little right, vocals centered. It creates a much more natural listening experience when you have that option, making it easier to pick parts that you need during a performance. If you only ever monitored in mono before, stereo is definitely something worth experiencing. Now let's talk about features that really matter. First, this operates in the 5.8 gigahertz wireless band, which is something I really like. A lot of wireless gear today use 2.4 gigahertz, but also that's where Wi-Fi routers, Bluetooth devices, and countless other electronics live. By moving over to 5.8 gigahertz, Xvive helps reduce interference and provides a much more reliable wireless connection. The system offers a range up to 100 feet, which is more than enough for most stages, churches, rehearsal spaces, maybe wedding venues, and club gigs. Another really smart feature is the automatic channel scan and hold button. Hold it down for a few seconds and the receiver finds the strongest available channel. No guessing, no complicated setup, and that's exactly the kind of feature busy musicians appreciate. When they're really trying to set up and get ready for the show, the last thing you need to do is worry about glitches and complicated setup. Of course, guys, great wireless doesn't matter if the audio doesn't sound good. And this is where the U45 really impressed me. You're getting 24-bit digital audio, a full 20 Hz to 20 kHz frequency response, and an excellent 110 dB dynamic range, and less than 5 milliseconds of latency. Well, those numbers aren't just marketing specs. They actually translate into a system that feels incredibly responsive while you're performing. Now, vocals stay clear, instruments sound detailed, and because the latency is so low, you don't notice any distracting delay. That's the last thing you want to hear between the playing and what you're hearing. Now, for singers especially, that's incredibly important because even a small delay can throw off your timing and pitch. During the testing here, everything felt immediately clean and very natural, which is excellent to see. What do we get in the box? We get the receiver, belt clip. We got our transmitter, XLR here. You've got a dual charging USB-C, so we can charge both devices at the same time. Love that. You do have an adapter here if you want to add this to a 1/4 inch. You also have this piece here, which is an XLR, but you can also convert it to a 1/4 inch. Warranty card and a quick setup guide. Okay, I'm going to show you really quick how to pair these two on the same channel. So what you do is you have your on button here. There's your charging port, and there's where you select left, right, stereo mix. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to turn it on. Then we're going to hold this center piece down for 3 seconds. It starts flashing through all the different colors until it lands on the cleanest channel from 1 to 6. Okay, so it landed on yellow, channel 2. All you do now is turn on the transmitter, right here, on. See, it's in red right now? Just keep pressing it until you cycle through all 6 colors. Now that they're matched, they're connected. One thing I also appreciate is just how flexible the system is. I mean, the transmitter uses dual XLR outputs for true stereo operation, but Xvive also includes a 1/4 inch adapter if your mixer uses auxiliary outputs instead. You also have 4 listening modes: full stereo, left only, right only, or mix, which combines everything into mono. That means the system can work with almost any mixer setup that you're likely to encounter. Another great feature is that one transmitter can send to multiple receivers, making it ideal for bands that want several members to listen to the same monitor mix. Battery life is rated up to 5 hours, which is enough to cover most rehearsals and performances. And a full charge only takes 2.5 hours. Not bad. Everything is compact, lightweight, rechargeable, and easy to transport in your gig bag. That's a win. In the box, you actually do get this pamphlet that shows all the different types of Xvive products, all the way from instrumentation, like saxophones and trumpets. You go all the way up to the wireless microphones, and these can also make a wireless speaker, all the way down to lavaliers, Bluetooth receivers, and if you flip it over, you get some other in-ear monitoring systems right over here. So they have literally everything for everyone, depending what you're playing, whether you're singing, playing an instrument. So check them out. They've really impressed me. I've had several products now from Xvive, A couple of them I've reviewed, like the U35, and it was fantastic. Check it out if you want to see it on my channel. But I'm overall very impressed with the X5 products. Now, let's talk about price, because that's where I think that the U45 becomes really interesting. At the time of this review, the Xvive U45D sells for approximately $329 US or $449 Canadian, depending on your retailer and current exchange rates. When you compare that to many professional wireless in-ear monitor systems that can easily cost twice as much or more before adding the extra receivers, this starts looking like an excellent value for a solo performer, worship musician, acoustic duo, weekend gigging band, or even a full band looking for an affordable way to move into wireless monitoring. And I honestly think the U45D deserves a serious look. I want to thank Xvive for sending this system over to review, and a big thanks again for John for coming by the studio and sharing his thoughts and his experience. If you've been thinking about switching to wireless in-ear monitors, let me know down in the comments. Let's talk. Are you already using in-ear monitors, or are you still relying on floor wedges? I'd love to hear your experiences and thoughts. If you enjoyed this review, please give it a thumbs up. Consider subscribing if you're new to the sonic spectrum. And as always, guys, thanks for watching. See you in the next one.